not an exact lineup we saw, and it just shows that they have adapted the Mars, the AA, even just the Ursa Mag. It seems so much like their take on what was currently working.
Those are like heroes that they were already comfortable running,
yeah, exactly.
But they generally didn't pick them together like that.
That's right, exactly.
They're all strong, and now they combined it. The flavor of the meta, because that's what you want. You don't want to just blindly copy a team. Imagine if they tried to copy Nigma. We're Nigma. We know exactly what you're doing. I like what they've done.
Definitely like what they've done.
Prepare for battle.
Where, what is it? British Pro? They already qualified. Yeah, they got the points. Came top in their region twice. Team Nigma, they need top 2 for guaranteed, and they can be top 6 for almost. We are ready. I'm gonna give you all over to our commentary duo. It is Cap and Kyle.
That's right, we're here again. Second opportunity to be able to cast this series between Virtus Pro and Team Nigma. And let's go ahead and give everybody a bit of a refresher as we're going to head into the game very shortly. Kyle, draft-wise, stakes-wise, what is going on here?
Well, I mean, at this point, Nigma are kind of in a must-win scenario. They have that extra life. They're in the upper bracket. But they need
to go so far through the tournament, right? That being dropped out of the upper bracket right away would be unfortunate. Unless they want to make a rerun of their TI7 CI.
Indeed it will. And, obviously Miracle not at 100%. We'll see if he has the makings of a Jordan flu game in him. Not the flu, of course, but
already sprayed out in the middle. Miracle, I'm coming for you. Apparently, they're feeling confident about their chances, even with a bit of sickness, to be able to take on the best in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, and unlike the president said earlier, the previous time Nigma had to remake a game, this is not new for them. It is same heroes, same draft, same starting items. Go play Dota 2.
And I believe we started off with an aggro tri-lane last time, right? And this time around, it doesn't look like we're going to be doing that, as we're going to be actually keeping 2 supports at bottom, or the support at bottom lane. We're not going to have the Ancient Apparition, Dark Willow, Ursa tri-lane that I believe Jenkins was talking about.
I don't know. I think it'll be tough to see, honestly. I'm kind of partial to the Willow and the Mars in this laning phase. Kind of same goes up top with the AA Ursa, although we did see a pretty solid first lane or first wave. Did we get that far?
We got about halfway through the first wave.
Because I remember talking about Kuro getting 2 stuns off. But you can see Kingslayer with the E-spam. Very good at zoning out line, especially when you start boots first.
Yeah, and then Axe versus Ursa, always kind of a fun matchup because Ursa is actually going to try and attack the Axe every once in a while, try and push him out of lane, but at the same time, he's in danger of taking too much damage from spins and battle hunger, and he won't be able to play for that. Miracle throwing out a tornado here to make sure GPK does not get denies in this lane, and that is the important part of this matchup, right? Mag has such a huge attack damage lead.
I was about to make the same point. You can see 72 plus 17, and that's only with level 1 in power. Invoker right now sitting at just 61. You can see Miracle, he went for the double null starting item build because you need to get more damage to be able to contest Mag for last hits, because Empower, unlike a lot of other plus attack modifiers, also affects denies.
Yeah, and as most Quaswex invokers do, he's going to be focusing on a lot of harassment and seeing if he could possibly move GPK out of lane. The funny part, the success of Quaswex Invoker is kind of interesting because it should be even worse in this patch, laning-wise, when bottle and water runes and everything is such a big deal, right? Like, normally this hero operates off of, I'm going to harass you so much that you can't play forward in lane anymore, but there's just so much regen available.
Yep. You had a lot of mana issues as Quaswex Invoker. You really don't anymore. And in addition, I feel like, you can see Nigma just use it as a replacement for Puck. Miracle plays it in a similar fashion, except Invoker scales a lot harder. And you have this late game I win button with the Cataclysm, and they have been excellent at setting it up. In this game, you'll have a bunch of disables, notably the Mind Control Taunt. If you land that on 2 or 3 heroes and drop Cataclysm, people just get deleted.
Yeah. No, absolutely. If they don't die to just the Cataclysm, they're probably low enough for a Cooling Blade, in which case that could be even worse for Virtus Pro than just straight up dying. A little bit of trading of tips here late into the night. It's currently a little bit past midnight here.
Oh yeah, we've been training for this all year. Many late night rides home in the van in Sweden after 2 or 3 a.m. as the EU DPC tended to get very late. And you know, Nigma, they were also, I feel like, on the later end of those schedules most of the time, them being the prime time draw. I'd be curious. Remember, in the interview, Quinn did say he favored Nigma's draft. He specified, is it the same draft? If so, he liked this. Makes sense. The Spectre in the late game is going to be very effective against this support duo of VP. I mean, I hate playing AA into Spectre. It is a miserable, miserable time.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Do you actually like fully agree with him that you prefer Nigma's draft all the way? Because I was kind of like, I personally anyway like Virtus Pro's, just that the Mag Ursa is such a powerful duo throughout the game. And I think we even talked about the fact that Ursa has more options late game than he used to. Against Spectre, DM taking a lot of damage here. An early pop of the Fairy Fire, knowing that he's going to need every bit of health to be able to survive through this bit of harassment. First Blood still on the table for whoever can claim it.
Nice EMP there from Miracle. I'm a big fan of Spectre. You saw iLTW, he did get that early point in Desolate. Not a fan when we see people either skipping it, they skip it completely oftentimes until like level 8, level 9, but it's so effective. 18 pure damage, just as a tool to zone and perhaps look for kills later in the laning phase. I think it's a lot easier to be more aggressive. You're actually a real threat. And GPK doing the typical mag mid 1-3-1, get ahead, get the Glove of Haste, and then just straight up start jungling in addition to farming your lane.
Yeah, and you're going to see him wander over to the hard camp, probably use the Shockwave to pull it, stack it, go back, farm the easy camp again, perhaps, or maybe he's going to clear through this stack now. It's a triple stack, so this is the way. If you are losing a lane right now, just focus on hitting neutrals past like minute 3. Stack it up for yourself. You have a hero that can clear through them. Stack it up, farm it out. Don't worry about laning.
Yeah.
It just feels silly to say. The mid lane of all things. Don't worry about laning.
I'm surprised he went for the bottom triangle. There was a stack there, but typically you'll see Mags play top because they can get multiple stacks off by themselves. Pull one, Shockwave another. It's really nice, but GBK is actually going to go all the way back to base to heal and then come back mid to contest the catapult. Already earn up on Miracle. He's been having a nice mix. I've seen there are games he skips Midas. There's games you see it's actually queued up right now. Some games Vessel into Midas, and I think this game he's got the right read where he might try to get away with it post-earn.
Catapult down, and GPK, I think he maybe pinged that, letting his team know, hey, guys, the catapult on our side, it's alive. If we can somehow kill Miracle, we can put some serious damage on that mid tower, but we saw a slight rotation from the Ancient Apparition, but looks like they're going to kind of give up on it.
It's the Dream Room, though. Arcane. The RP cooldown significantly decreased if they pop it now. You see the Vanguard picked up from Mind Control. He also rotated to the jungle to finish that off, and now I do believe he will look to go back top, try and contest Ursa. It's tough to take him down. If you look at the VP lineup, Ursa, sure, you could potentially chase him down, but who's the +1, right? You're going to drag your Magnus over? That's not really a thing. DM perhaps could rotate, but then you're leaving the Spectre alone. You don't really want to do that either. So I expect MC, you see, is a little low. I want him just back up top, keep pressuring that lane, force rotations to you, and let iLTW have his space.
It does feel like that is going to be a bit of a problem for Virtus Pro as a whole, is that ganking some of these lanes, these are all just naturally tanky or hard to kill heroes. Axe with the Vanguard, naturally Spectre is tankier than most carries, and then the ever wily Quaswix Invoker is always a difficult one to pin down.
A very chill game though so far, you know, we've waited a long time for it, and both teams just kind of calling a truce. You see MC, he stacked the hard camp, farmed it, now back to base, expect him to TP top. This is about the time we've seen Miracle make his rotations. He's actually ahead of GPK in net worth, which is kind of nuts. GPK, does he have a slight experience lead? Yes, he does, but Miracle's been very content with this, just sitting mid free farming.
Yeah, it just means that he's been doing a very good job CSing even when GPK was in lane. And now that he's not, just has to contend with the Dark Willow half the time. Looks like GPK did try and get aggressive mid, but they're also going on DM in the bottom lane right now, making sure they punish this Mars, knowing that he's alone, knowing that the Dark Willow was taking the lane some of the time. They're still going to try and go for Miracle here, but the Shockwave failing to get the pullback there. 8-minute power rune does not spawn top. Instead, GPK will refill his bottle with a haste rune.
Really well played by Miracle, though, because that was a 1-on-3 situation, and he secured top rune. Unfortunately, it does spawn bot, but that was a 50-50 play that more often than, well, exactly as often as not, will pay dividends. VP prioritizing these power runes, though, because they represent kills. You know, Mag with a haste rune, now a threat. He'll likely stay off map, but, you know, bottom lane, there's an arena set up. iLTW, you can see he actually moved off the lane. The moment that haste rune's picked up and GPK's off map, that's a threat. He has to play safe.
And the funny part is that Mag is so proficient at being able to hit neutral creeps that GPK can be off map but not lose any momentum in his own farm. So it's interesting and good plays by both sides of the table here. What do you think about this Miracle building up? He was like, am I going to go Spirit Vessel? Maybe I'll go the faster Midas here. It feels like in this slower game where it's 9 minutes in, we've yet to have a first blood. Feels like it's a Midas game first.
Yeah, it really does. And the thing you've got to be concerned about is, you know, what BSJ calls the must-win Ursa timing, where 16, 17 minutes in, especially with the Mag, you have Empower, you get Roche, or Diffusal, and you run at the enemy heroes. That would be the concern. I think Miracle's making the right choice if he goes for the Midas, because if you think about it, what does the Vessel really help you with? Yes, a bit of added damage, but there's no real high sustain heroes on the enemy side. Ursa can obviously purge it off himself with the Enrage.
Yeah, it's definitely much more important when there is some sort of natural regen hero, your Dragonites, Timber Saws, those sort of things.
Exactly. And he's going to have it almost straight up. 2,000 gold saved on Miracle, so do expect the Midas. And that is an interesting timing when you consider GPK. He's going for Blink first. So the opposite idea. He's already got his built-in farming mechanic. Hail might have first blood.
Yeah, there it is. Mind control. Managing to find the opening. I'm guessing Kuro was able to lead off the stun, to follow up the call, and then they bring the Spectre up to top lane to be a part of the kill, but actually parks down back at bottom lane. So I'll be interested to see if Virtus Pro try and pressure the Spectre as a result of him using the Haunt.
Dire's top tower is under
Midas
attack.
on the way. I gotta say, this is, you gotta assume, good for Nigma here. Like, they got it's almost like VP's like, hey, are you sure we've delayed the game long enough? Maybe you'd like an extra 10 minutes to get yourself situated, because so far, I haven't seen a gank. I don't think I've seen an enemy core cross the river.
Yeah. Then again, that is kind of true to Virtus Pro in some ways, right? It felt like they were always good at just being able to hit a timing and hit it really hard. And they're going to make their first rotation here.
Nice skewer.
Nice skewer back. Radiant Hex is going to be able to stop the RP, but they still manage to get the Ice Blast onto Mind Control, and he is very dead. Kuro, though, will manage to survive, and now maybe they can turn around. Miracle's going to be pulled back and does manage to bring down. RP immediately going out from GPK. Do they have the damage for this? They're going to use the Terrorize, hitting it onto 2, forcing Miracle into another Brambles, and it does manage to get that kill. A 1-for-2 trade-off there in cores to the favor of Virtus Pro.
That was a big rotation, though, and they did blow the RP. Incredible Hex from Kuro. Didn't know he still had reflexes that good. GH, unfortunately, could not steal RP back because he had swiped Shockwave already. But bottom, there was no Haunt on iLTW. He's just going to keep camping bottom, farming. I think you take that if you're Team Nigma.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I mean, Spectre just not being pressured at all. No towers being in danger or anything like that, though they're going to go for now. Arena, Spear, Ice Blast, and then Nightfall to put in a little bit of extra damage to finish off the Spectre. Now, Kyle, maybe that doesn't go so well for Nigma. Now it feels like maybe they've just kind of given away an extra kill that shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, iLTW should have probably waited to see Nightfall show. That was a really nice maneuver there. He dies. Comes to pressure the enemy carry. He'll close in on his Diffusal shortly. That's the power of the VP lineup. RP and Arena are very easy to get core kills off of if they find a hero alone, and they've done that.
Look at the setup. I believe they're smoking down to bottom lane because they have a Blink Dagger on Mind Control. Miracle's already set up behind the tower. Nigma, they wanted to crush this move from Virtus Pro with just a huge rotation. But it looks like VP, they may be a bit aware of what's going on. They're saying that this is almost too easy.
Yep, and it's also not their timing. You see, the Diffusal is the play for Nightfall. He picks it up now, wants a clarity. There it goes. This is the move now. You have Arena up soon. You have RP up 26, Arena 23. That's the right call. I think it was both teams really making a good decision, because if you want to fight there as Nigma on the tier 1 against 0 enemy ultimates, that's a win. You're going to crush that fight. You did not need Haunt. It's up now. It will be there as an answer. But VP, this is the timing that Brian never stops talking about. You are ahead slightly. You've got your cooldowns. You've got defusal. Smoke and go.
But they're not going to make the typical move into the enemy safe lane to try and secure that tower. They actually start smoking up to top, and then GPK decides to move bottom. I think because they spotted Miracle, and they deem him a great pickup. They can skewer him back into the Ice Blast. Sure, the spear misses, but it doesn't really matter too much. They've got the kill anyway. A big pickup. They identify Miracle as public enemy number 1.
And GH has got to watch that. DM is a savant at toggling Bulwark. You will never get spear, GH. You have to just trust in that.
Is under attack.
Mind control.
Radiant
Setting up now. Miracle's dead. They do know where DM is here, but they don't really have a ton of damage behind it. They're going to pop the Haunt, but iLTW showing up. Okay, the line does manage to catch the Ursa for a second. They're going to control for a while. Terrorize is coming in. They do manage to hit it too with that. The Arena Spear going out. The Ice Blast on top of that, but no one here to be able to commit onto iLTW. The rest of Virtus Pro are saying it's time to back away. And as you say, he's never going to get that spear. Looks like GH found the opening to be able to pin save to the trees.
It is just not my day-to-day, Cap.
It is certainly not. Maybe it was a 90% chance to never get the spear, and he found the 10%.
That's such an insane steal, though. It's an extra stun duration on an already incredibly long stun, high damage, high disable. So hell yeah, you're gonna go smoke. You don't have Haunt, but it doesn't matter. You got a blink axe. Does Crow still have finger? Yes, he does. They find anybody and they are dead. Nice, maybe smoke break.
Yeah, this is cool. This is cool. Kingslayer, he knew about this smoke rotation. He's still going to be found due to the fast reactions of mind control, but they knew this smoke was coming, and in a way, I believe Kingslayer was positioning himself to try and break it.
This is nice, though. It's about taking control of this mid-tower area, and you can see the sentry and then the ward on the high ground placed by Crow. Is it just a sentry? Just a sentry. You want to just control the Roche pit. The longer you can buy time, it's not even the first Roche, it's the second Roche that's really big to delay. Hold up, MC. Ooh, thought he might go there.
And with the double damage on GPK, is he done with an Echo Saber too? Oh, Mind Control's gonna make that jump. They do have, what was that, big pull back, the Finger of Death is still gonna be enough though. The Ice Blast with the Bedlam is gonna be an equal amount of damage here that might just be able to finish them both of them off, and yes they do. Both Mind Control and Kuro fall in exchange for killing the carry of Virtus Pro. Going back in, GPK looking to manage to get the Shockwave Skewer on in, but it does cost DM his life as he gets burned out for the EMP. GH able to finish him off, but the final hit from GPK is all they need to be able to put Miracle down. 3 dead on the side of Nigma.
And that right there is why you said, Cap, that you love Core Mag. It's not about the RP, it's about now the ease it with, well, not ease, I suppose, but you can Shockwave into Skewer. You were not able to do that before.
That's easy as pie.
Okay, well.
That is, Skewer used to be a hard ability to hit. Nowadays, you just blink anywhere close to somebody and Shockwave them, and whoop, re-Skewer.
Yep, and that acts as an RP there to get the kill on Miracle. He made a cool play, though. Deafening Blast the Willow to prevent the attack out of the Shadow Realm.
Oh, that's good.
Unfortunately, not enough, but I like that he's still thinking quick. And iLTW did take top tower. A lot of these deaths from Nigma that don't involve Spectre just buy him time. Yeah, his net worth is lower than the Ursa, but that's the nature of the hero. This takes a lot longer to come online. But obviously in the late game, you'd much rather have the Spectre. Still spear on GH a little bit longer.
Top tower is under attack.
Spearing away the illusion, GH does have an Ether Lens, and that means an incredibly long spear. Throws a long-range ward, but the sentry was already in place from Virtus Pro. They know Nigma and their tricks and their focus on being able to control the mid lane. They're going to smoke up through this lane, though. See if they can even out things when it comes to map control. See if they can also claim the mid-tier 1 tower.
But Rubik, especially with Spear, so good at pushing out lanes, and they saw iLTW. They know that the Nigma team plan here is to play away from Spectre and have him pawn in, but yeah, the Spidey senses are tingling. We need to get the hell out of Dodge. No TP. Thank you, JJ.
That's a little awkward.
But keep in mind, where is he dragging VP to? The opposite end of the map. They are not around Roche. It's 17:30 into the game, Cap.
Sure.
And they haven't even sniffed the pit.
iLTW is going to poke his head out here. And DM backs away, but I believe that's more of a feint than anything, as they are going to try and go for the Spectre immediately on. Going to be used as Nigma's making the move onto mid lane, but at the same time, looks like they didn't quite find that initiation. Oh, mind control overshoots it for a second, but they still managed to get the combo down. Oh, he's low, but his Terrorize is going to be able to come in. He needs a spin. He needs it badly to be able to get this, but the enrage is already out. Nightfall's not dying here, and now GPK pulls Kuro into his inevitable death once again.
Cap. They had a 3-second CD on finger. 3 seconds, or they would have almost certainly got that kill on the Ursa.
I don't want to put too much blame onto him. Miracle has to go back for the item. My DM, he knows it too. He's like, you came back for this neutral item, and that means you're dead, Miracle.
It took them a while, but VP have the opening. 3 heroes dead. Mid tower? Nope, Roche first. That's going to be the answer. You can't stop them with no Invoker and no Haunt. They just don't have the team fight. GH, be a little careful. I think you're solo killed by RP here. Not even needed.
Once again, Shockwave Skewer into the rest of his team. Kyle, this is such a huge momentum shift, and I don't want to put too much blame, but I feel like in some ways if iLTW was just a little bit more patient in the trees there and wasn't forced to haunt in that situation, he lets his team just make that initiation. Everything changes.
Oh, yeah. It forced them to move quickly, which then gave VP the opening to take the fight they've been looking for a couple of minutes, but without the threat of the iLTW Haunt, which acts as a blink cancel. It's a big deal if all of a sudden you know exactly where GPK is and can prevent him from initiating on your back lines. Didn't even need the RP, so VP still totally in control of the map. The net worth, sure, it's only 1K, but VP are a lot further ahead right now at this moment.
Yeah.
Nigma are playing for later. That's a Midas Rush Invoker. That's a Spectre. They're still just fine, but they're going to need to sharpen up a little bit.
The power spike on Virtus Pro's team right now, and probably for the next 10 minutes, is so much higher than the Nigma's lineup. A missed or spike there, DM. Looking for his opening, but a telekinesis prevents him from getting off the spear. Taro, nice two-man call. They're going to be able to throw out the Sunstrike. That brings DM a little bit low, but Mind Control is certainly in trouble. Spear to the trees. A counter Terrorize going out. Is that going to be enough to save Mind Control? The Shadow Realm, and there it is. Kingslayer is able to finish him off with that chilling touch.
Really nice job there from VP. It's all about just throwing out spells and letting Nightfall finish the kills for you. He has the Aegis, so he can play a lot more aggressive.
Getting some vision down. Ice Blast.
Radiant structures.
But it looks like GPK, he was ready to go. He pops the BKB just to make sure he knows the big kill. In fact, they're going to go for extras here. They managed to get the spear out. GH, he's caught underneath this tier 2, and they're going to let Nightfall chase by himself because, after all, he's the man with the second life.
This is so good from VP. Like, they're strong right now. They recognize how far ahead they are, and you can see how easy it is for them to execute kills. A solo RP BKB, that's uninterruptible. The only answer you have as Team Nigma is if somehow GH is able to steal the RP and counter-initiate before the skewer can come out. That's very difficult. He does not have a Blink Dagger. That item, though, for Kuro, with his Blink, maybe they can look to get aggressive, but I love how VP, they commit hard. Ults used immediately, find kills, find towers, use your spells, back off, reset. When they come back up, run straight across the map again.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about at Virtus Pro. Like, when they hit timings, they hit them harder than I think most teams do. Maybe even the hardest of any of the tier 1 teams is, you can see Virtus Pro. They just smashed Nigma in a couple of team fights. Playing back for a second here, as I have to imagine there's a fresh item coming the way of Nightfall.
And I just want to point out the level disparity. GPK is he is level 18.
Cataclysm to reveal. Gets a little bit of vision. Do manage to bring down GPK. A big kill with a fresh Aghanim Scepter. And now they're going to catch Kingslayer as well. Tornado doesn't quite hit him, but it doesn't matter. He turns around. Ice Blast, actually. Maybe DM. He could do something with this one. Does manage to spear off the disarmer, slowing down this kill on a Mind Control. Can he get out of this one? Terrorize. It gets thrown in. It hits 3. A big hit for the Dark Will as they smash themselves into the arena over and over again. Nightfall still looking good, but Kuro managed to execute as DM falls. Nightfall looks for the revenge, looks to be able to pick up this lion, and Kuro's going to be left behind by the rest of his team. The Spectre gets out, but the Ursa still survives on the side of Virtus Pro.
That was huge. So we missed the initial initiation. That was just a straight up blink taunt into Cataclysm. That's the combo we were talking about. That's why you rush the Midas, because now suddenly your pickoff potential is nuts because you have global threat from both cores. So MC, no matter where he is, even by himself,
towers
he's
are
a threat for a solo pickoff. And I just mentioned GPK. He was 4 levels above the entire lineup of Team Nigma, and he got picked off at the start of the fight. That'll slow down their timing. The Aegis only with 1.5 minutes left. You don't really have time anymore. Okay, yes you do. You're VP. They immediately smoke.
Okay. Minute 15. Nightfall not being smoked up here. Can show himself
Dire's
real
top
aggressively
tower
if he
is under
wants in the
attack.
mid lane. While the rest of the team moves behind him. They're going to start moving up to the triangle here.
Kuro.
They don't have DM, so they're not like full on charging at them. They're still just sitting here as 4. It looks like they're going to connect a DM in his push at the top lane.
This is a heads up move. Team Nigma, they have a cooldown. I would imagine at this level, you've got to be keeping track of the Roach timer. 40 seconds.
No, they totally understand that they should play as safe and off map as humanly possible to make sure that Virtus Pro
Radiant's top
doesn't
tower is
force
under attack.
a team fight right here, right now. Miracle just going to throw the Forge Spirits out into the mid lane. Knows that this is a dangerous area to show.
Radiant's top tower.
20 seconds. Now the question is, do you think that Nigma is going to be the ones to try and smoke as this Aegis expires, which we frequently see out of teams, or do you think they're still okay with a slower pace to this game?
It's tough. They just don't really have an answer to the RP until that item's picked up. So this requires some pretty fast fingers from GH, because that steal, like, think about VP. They picked Mag. We forget the draft. It was a long time ago, but they picked Magnus into Rubik.
Yes.
They knew this was a possibility. And we've seen this scenario historically many times in the past. Like, you used to not pick Mag into Rubik ever, but the hero concept's changed a lot. It's more farm focused. The Skewer Shockwaves you've already seen, very successful. It's not as all in on RP, especially as a core. But they also have the MC taunt. So you've got to have either GH or MC ready to immediately counter-initiate, because otherwise he's going to BKB, RP, and Skewer Miracle back into the waiting arms of his entire team. Yeah. That's troublesome.
And do you think that's always going to be his target? Like, Miracle is the best target to go to?
I would say so, yeah. He represents so much damage.
I mean, yeah, it's like, this is an axe that doesn't have like a Manta shard or anything like that, right? This is an axe that is ultimately an initiation tool for Cataclysm. He is just purely a delivery mechanism for somebody else's damage.
And I love this build from iLTW too. The Echo Saber into Manta, it looks like Diffusal's queued up. That's the max haunt in damage build, right? You catch somebody out, Spectre comes in, Manta Diffusal. If you're getting Desolate procs, like, that is an insane, an absurd amount of damage output. And it's very easy with the Cataclysm on top to have enough for the axe execution. In fact, you probably don't even need it.
Absolutely absurd. As it also really good against, I mean, all these strength heroes do have mana problems to some degree, right? Like, Ursa hates it when his mana is burnt out. It sucks so much.
The active too is not bad, right?
Yeah.
You can maybe not kill a Willow, but hang on.
No, Miracle's down here, but he's already ghost walked. He is probably fast enough to stay ahead of Virtus Pro's move here.
I love the amount of emphasis Kuroki's put on controlling his own jungle. Look at that, 4 sentries. They got 2 wards up right now. All about controlling your own side of the map. You saw there with the vision toggle VP. They've got a nice ward near the Radiant Ancients, way over to the left, but it's Nigma who are playing around their wards and just daring VP to walk up high ground with that vision.
Yeah, but I think Virtus Pro has read that Nigma earlier, they forfeited their triangle, and instead we're playing the right-hand side of the map. They read the fact that there was a ward inside of their own triangle. They de-ward that. Now it looks like they're beginning to move forward and take over this area, but Nigma's just shifting over to the other side of the map now.
And there's the Diffusal pickup, so yeah, there's a net worth advantage for the Ursa, but in terms of actual items acquired, it's pretty even. And this is about that point where I think as VP, you've got to look at that deciding fight to get a big lead, because it's going to start getting spooky for your draft. You get a little 4 or 5 minutes later into this game.
Yeah, and you certainly want that second Roach on, that's for sure. And that is going to be coming up. 10 seconds, Cataclysm coming in. DF blown up immediately. They drop every ultimate they have for that one. GPK being harassed by this Spectre as the buybacks coming in from Virtus Pro. They're saying, okay, you used all those big ultimates, now it's our turn.
Really well done, though. You saw that. A double hit. They go immediately in on DM, obliterate him from the map. In the meantime, iLTW, he solo killed the AA. He just hops on him, Manta Diffusal dead. There's no save mechanism for him. Nice blink.
Nightfall. Trying to get a little damage there before the blink away. Miracle, though, a bit too wily for him.
Actually, he did have a Glimmer Cape, but iLTW, the discipline that he had his own
Radiant's
dust.
bottom tower is under
Well
attack.
played. And he's got another one. He's going to make sure this Ancient Apparition is never allowed. If Nigma are always the ones initiating, then there's never going to be an Ice Blast in this regard.
No. And that's the way you're going to play it. If they can get one more like that, it looks like Nigma would take a slight lead. VP trying to prevent that because, as you can see, Roshan is at a spawn up in 7 seconds.
Yeah, it is. They're trying to finish up this tier 2 and then sweep back to the other side of the map, I think, in time for this Roshan, but it's so fast.
Vision did not linger. They will see it. VP does not know yet. They are setting up a Miracle top.
Desolate allows you to do... Oh, GPK, this would be a really big one. Really, really big. If they can get that pick off, then that's the opportunity to do Roshan.
He's just out of
He knows exactly the vision radius, and he lets the illusions take the tier 2 tower instead of trying to take it himself. And that alone, that discipline, is what is the difference between Miracle getting picked off and staying alive to continue and control this game.
That is just nuts. You can see Dota very much a game of inches and seconds, or pixels. Rosh up. Miracle now playing with the Blink Dagger bots. He's going to be very annoying to deal with on the side lanes and continuing to exploit the global advantage that their draft has. They take a gold lead for the first time since the laning phase.
Miracle shows one more time, just a kill the creep wave, blinks away to the trees, TP's out immediately. Virtus Pro. Remember, that double buyback, they were supposed to take advantage of a time when ultimates were on cooldown, but they haven't. Finger of Death is back, Haunt is back, Nigma is fully ready to go.
You gotta be careful too, because now it's iLTW. He's got buyback in his pocket. There's this weird buyback disparity where earlier on in the game, you kind of allow the Spectre to blow his cooldown, buy back and fight him. Now it reverses, where suddenly iLTW, he'll throw his life away for an objective like Roshan, because you're going to do so much damage to yourself. You're going to use so many spells, but that buyback haunt in, that's devastating. You don't have any issues you're joining a fight as the Spectre. You got to be careful. All spells are off cooldown. BKB, they were waiting for on DM. Oh, but that's so cool. He's going to get a Silver Edge on GPK.
Yep.
The only item that provides break used to be Nullifier, no longer. Now, they have that answer to potentially kill the Spectre without doing so much self-damage.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's so important for the Ursa, right? Because he can rack up the damage on any of these tanky carries. Ursa can out-carry you. It's just the problem of surviving long enough to be able to do so against the Spectre. That damage bounces right back.
It could also just be Shadowblade. He doesn't care about the break to find Miracle, because this is getting very annoying.
Oh, I'm 100% going to say it's a combination of both, right? Shadowblade for now, they catch Miracle, they win that team fight. Later on, that turns into a Silver Edge. Maybe not immediately, as it looks like he's going to go AC, but eventually that's going to be a Silver Edge. 11-17, 1,000 net worth lead for Nigma, and it feels like in many ways right now, Nigma is doing a very good job of frustrating Virtus Pro, not allowing them to take that big second objective in Roshan. And may just be able to, if they manage to get the right kind of team fight. Not only is it going to be a dieback on both DM as well as Kingslayer, but also the fact that they could take away the gem on the Dark Willow, take Roshan for themselves. Oh, and then that Ursa lineup runs out of steam. Nightfall moving in, breaks the smoke, thought to be there, going out, they got the vision. Mind Control's gonna go for DM. Once again, the Finger of Death, the same combo. They killed them before, will kill them now. Kingslayer is out, they do have the Ice Blast. That's going out, but it's on the dead girl. So managed to use the RP, and GA turns it right back around, but at the same time, the Ursa managed to dodge that one. GPK with his BKB out, didn't take any damage during that time. He's hunting out Miracle in the trees right now. Miracle hiding away, hoping that he isn't found, throws out the Deafening Blast. They see him now, they terrorize, goes out, save, he's moving into position to try and catch out the Invoker, but he's into a creep wave. They do have the Shadow Realm. Can he put out enough damage? The Impale looking to be able to stop him. GPK's after him, and in the last shot, he blinks away from it. He manages to get out. Meanwhile, iLTW has killed the Ursa. There's nothing left on the Virtus Pro side. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5-man down from Virtus Pro. Nigma, with a loud scream, just wipe Virtus Pro.
GH, God, what a quick steal. There's no way Miracle survived it. That was a BKB mag. Mind Control was there a second or two later to follow up, got the 2-man taunt. And that's huge. That's the fight that they were waiting for. You can see they knew DM had no buyback. They exploited that fact, and they have like a straight up nuclear bomb they can drop on any target they wish. That's huge.
Virtus Pro has not found the initiation in like the last 3 or 4 team fights.
No. They set that up. You saw the cam on Kuro glancing to the minimap every couple of seconds. They knew what they were getting themselves into.
Nice blast, but he blinks away before it lands. Miracle may not be feeling so hot outside of the game, but inside, he's moving and grooving. 10,000 net worth lead for Nigma now as the rest of the team gonna back away. Say one lane of barracks is good enough, especially with the Spectre late game advantage.
They are feeling themselves now. Have the gem. Let's see this one more time. So DM, we have our highlight. He's already been deleted. You see the steal right there. Nightfall does sidestep it, but MC is there. He's still dead though.
Yeah.
1 or 2 more hits from GPK, Miracle would be dead.
Yeah. No, I think another thing to notice is that this Ancient Apparition feels so pressured by the fact that he knows he's going to die super fast to iLTW. He throws the Ice Blast at the first target he sees, which is the Lion, who dies immediately. He waits a second later, throws it out on Miracle. That's a dead Invoker super early on to the team fight, and maybe things change. But iLTW has just put the fear of God into him, and now he's just grasping for whatever he could possibly get. Virtus Pro on the outs here, but not ones to go down without a fight. They're going to 5-man smoke up and play to see if they can turn this game around, despite the fact that iLTW has an Aegis.
And ult.
GPK. They're going to break it. High control fights the initiation first with double cataclysm right against that. GPK down. Kingslayer dead as well. An RP that was stolen earlier by GH for style points to be able to kill DM. That's utter trouncing. Virtus Pro just got worked by Nigma.
I am not sure, as we watch Save go down as well, how you're supposed to team fight into 20 Sunstrikes. Because Miracle launched those within about half a second of each other, and they just straight up deleted Virtus Pro from the map. They don't have any save mechanism.
Yeah.
Like, is there a force staff on anybody? No, there isn't. So, there's just no save. If you get taunted by mind control, good luck, have fun.
And mind control has been so fast.
Oh yeah.
You gotta give credit to this man. He's setting it all up, and he is reacting and turning on a dime. The moment somebody shows he's on them, he's hit the call, and then the fight is over for that one person. Whoever gets called, they're just out.
Yeah, they've been great. Outpost control, 2 racks, 20k gold lead. Aegis still for another 2 minutes. Probably just wait for the refresher. It's up in 66 seconds.
Bottom tower has fallen.
And you just rinse, repeat. Like, at this point, this is the draft. We were discussing it. 20 minutes, 25 minutes, sure. VP, you've got a lead. But the moment you get this late, the graph's going to look like that every single time, because this lineup just has way too much damage the faster or the longer we move into the game. And
it's way too easy for them. Virtus Pro gonna try this one again. Smoke on out. Ice Blast already thrown out for vision there, but they weren't able to immediately capitalize.
DM in the middle of nowhere.
He really is. Nightfall makes a jump forward. Doesn't actually find Miracle. Mind control still managed to find the opening onto the Dark Willow. There goes your Cataclysm. RP onto 3. That's a good setup, but they need Nightfall to be able to put out the damage. He's only managed to kill 1, building up the damage onto Kuro. Gets the second one by iLTW with that Aegis. He doesn't care. A buyback arena. Mind control though with a buyback of his own, boxing in and managing to catch the Ursa. He's not gonna let Nightfall get away so easily. Mind control, Miracle. They actually both gonna get caught up in the skewer. Miracle's the one to fall. Now a terrorism being threatened here is gonna be able to catch GH. They're trying to save iLTW for that. It's a dieback. GH running around, telekinesis, double cataclysm once again. He's gonna be able to catch 2, and GPK might just be able to fall off of this one. The Shadow Blade is getting him away. Meanwhile, the second life iLTW allows him to be able to go back in. Dark Willow back down from the tornado will die, and that just leaves GPK. Last one left alive, followed by Haunt Illusion, but it looks like he will manage TP back. Virtus Pro still have buybacks, but it's looking like they are running out of gas.
Oh, so it's like GH stole the RP, but it was still on cooldown from the earlier usage. Re-stealing does not change that. Wow. They've used both buybacks though. Like, they had theirs available, okay. 2 pop out from VP as well, but it's a 4-on-5.
Dire's bottom tower
Miracle use the refresher.
Dire's middle tower is under
iLTW does not have that second life anymore. And he's putting himself forward as the target. You can see they do not want that target. They want Miracle if they can. Eon Disc for mind control. GPK creating a little bit of a tunnel here for him to be able to jump to the back line, see if he can skewer them in. Finally, they're just going to have to go for iLTW. They're all in onto the Spectre, but that is exactly what Nigma wants you to be able to do. He's still healthy, and their initiation has been ruined. iLTW looks to be able to finish off DM, while the rest of Virtus Pro going to cower inside of their fountain with Mega Creeps incoming. Nigma have taken game 1.
Beautiful, beautiful. I hear them every time, 3 or 4 times, huge shouts. They're playing for so much. Even this win, even winning this series for Team